William, hopefully your favorite videographer from Two Hats Publishing. I welcome you to another Two Hats special of community events. Let's look in and see what's really happening.
I am Benjamin Espino, the General Manager of the Latino Cultural Center here in Dallas.
Fantastic. Tell me about what's going on here today.
Tonight is the opening reception for the 12th annual Hecho in Dallas. Hecho in Dallas is our annual juried competition for visual artists. And the beauty of Hecho in Dallas is that it brings together the community to see the diversity that we have in Dallas and North Texas in the visual arts. The Cultural Center, the mission of the Cultural Center is to serve as a regional catalyst for the preservation, promotion of Latino and Hispanic arts and culture. As such, visual arts are very important, but this diverse show brings the whole community together, and you can see how diverse our community, both visual artists and the community itself, is in the show and the different mediums that are utilized in the show.
Wonderful. Do you know if there's any more artists out there that would like to have themselves interviewed and put up there on YouTube?
I think we could find a couple if you'd like.
Okay, that's fantastic. Let's try and do that.
Okay.
Well, hello, Doc. I'm here at the Latino Cultural Center. This is the annual Hecho in Dallas show. I am honored to have a couple of pieces here. Right here, this right here is made out of blown glass and cast glass, because glass happens to be my primary medium. So most of my work in sculpture tends to stem from my involvement in glassworking, which I've been doing for about 35 years.
Looks like you got some time after this one.
Yeah, well, it is a lot of time. It involves, first I blow the glass piece, which is this part here, and then it's been it's a chemical process that creates this mirrored surface in here, and then I make the glass piece, the cast glass base separately, which has these wires embedded in it. And my original idea was I just wanted to create some kind of little sculptural thing going on inside of this, and this was going to act like a vitrine of sorts. But it ended up starting to kind of look like a light bulb or some kind of bizarre vacuum tube, and so I kind of went with that, and that's why I put it all together, and I ended up entitling it Power Station. So, and this other piece I have, it's entitled Eschatology of Radiology. And there's actually a story that goes with that. And I'll tell you some of it. This piece right here is an old x-ray tube that came out of like a dental x-ray machine. And my dad was a dentist, and he passed away about 5 years ago, but a couple years prior to that, he had given me this old part because he said it was such a cool thing off of it, this old x-ray machine they were scrapping, and he actually requested me to make some kind of an art piece out of it. And on top of that, he wrote a poem. And the poem was entitled Eschatology of Radiology. And it was like a long thing on filled up a whole legal pad sheet, and had to do with this x-ray tube and the X-ray tube was thinking about spending its life in eternity in a city dump and getting maybe molted into a mass of an unrecognizable lump or something like that. Anyway, he wondered what was going to happen after his useful life in the radiology machine. Like, what kind of eternity was he going to be consigned to? I'm saying he because we're kind of personifying this X-ray tube. Anyway, so that was my assignment from my father. And so it took me about 7 or 8 years to make the piece, but I ended up combining it with this cast concrete here, and this is a cast glass, and just made this sort of abstract form. But really, it's all about that poem that my father wrote. So anyway, there's a lot of interesting work here in this show at the Dallas Latino Cultural Center, and I do hope that you will go and talk to some of the other artists. Bowmanglass.com, BOWMANGLASS.com.
My name is Roberto Marciarelli. I came from Brazil, and I live in Dallas about 16 years. I'm an architect, but I never worked as an architect, but always working with in the graphic design arena. Now, my art consists in assemblage sculptures. I love what I do. I love to build. I use found objects and they inspire me. My art is my love, and I try to tell stories about the piece itself, like Nefertiti. Okay, this is Lux Brumalis. Lux Brumalis means winter time in Latin. And what I want to tell, it's about the coziness, the warmth that comes in the winter time, the light of the winter time, and everything, almost 8% of this piece is with found objects. This is Nefertiti, the wife of Akhenaten, the pharaoh. Nefertiti was very beautiful, and it inspired me because she had one of her images. It's like she has a red head over her head, and this is her. This is her royalness here, and her strength, her power is in the iron. She was very feminine, and her feminine is here. But I believe that somehow she was very strong, or she was surrounded and she was isolated. I don't know. This is why the iron here.
My name is Viola Delgado. I'm an artist in Dallas, Texas. I just had my 30-year retrospective at the Latino Cultural Center here in Dallas on Live Oak and Good Latimer. I have this piece right behind me, which is called The Garden. And it is a piece that took 30 years to make. I started off by doing a sketch of it. And then in 1995, I did a wooden maquette, which was just small, about 8 inches by 6 inches. And then last year, I started working on this piece with the help of a welder out in Denison, Texas. And it came to be, and it was really interesting to see that all those years came to develop this. And it was very exciting to see it happening. The connection with the Cultural Center is that I've been here since it opened. I am their contract curator with them off and on. So I curate several of their shows throughout the year and have probably been here about 10 years. It opened 13 years ago, but I've been here probably about 10 years.
Tell me everything I need to know. Everything you need to know about Amniocent 3. This is a very recent piece for me. I'm working with encaustic wax on Yupo, this really cool plastic material. And this is in a body of work that's probably about 3 years old, and I'm developing a very visual language. I mean, this piece is utterly boring unless you're going to stop and really look. And that's what I want the viewer to do. And once you do, if you surrender to that, you're going to find wonders within this painting. So I hope you stop and look. You can find my work at robertomunguia.net. I don't know where you're going to find the spelling for that. I hope you do. But I'm very happy with this piece. It's something I could grow on, something that I could live with for a long time, and it would keep informing me of its changing nature. I like that. I like that about it. I like the color. I like that it's spread out. It's not so congested. You can kind of breathe through it. Yeah. When I look at something, I don't say, oh, it looks like a bird flying over Lake Travis. Nothing like that. When I look, I see the specific quality of a mark next to color. For instance, that tiny detail, once you really look at it, can be amazingly detailed and very engaging. In fact, what I'd like to do with these is maybe take a scan, a large pixel scan of the piece, and blow these little moments up to a larger print size. Maybe work on top of them, maybe not, but really isolate it so that you can really see a small detail.
My name is Leslie Rucker, Leslie Brandt Rucker. My website is lesliebrandtrucker.com. I have been a painter for about 9 years, and before that was a graphic designer. As far as my work, I've been a painter primarily. I work mostly in oils, and what I'm always trying to do is work from things that are internal and things that are important to me in whatever way that might be, and to try and illustrate that so other people might be able to get something out of it. This is one of my pieces, and this particular piece, I do a lot with water. And the idea behind this particular piece, it's called Solitude. It's oil on paper, but there's also a monoprint involved. So I like playing with different colors and mediums. Work mostly in oils, but the idea behind this particular piece is just that idea that water is a calming influence no matter where you are, and so the feeling of solitude, which is the title of the piece, is something that I think a lot of people can relate to.
Thank you for your interview.
Oh, thank you so much.
My name is Kenneth Houston. I'm a photographer in the Dallas area. The picture you see behind me is of the Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge, shot October of 2014. The composition itself was done with another friend of mine, Drew Roberts. He was not able to come tonight. But anyway, I'm just excited to be here. This is my first ever entry into any kind of art exhibit or any kind of contest whatsoever. I've been doing photography for the better part of almost 20 years, kind of as a side activity. I'm just trying to gain some clientele, to gain some momentum, show the general public and perhaps the rest of the country, the rest of the world, what I can do. You can see more of my work on fineartamerica.com. Just go into the artist search box and put Kenneth Houston. My last name is spelled just like the city. And feel free to browse around. You want to make a purchase, point, click, and ship. Thank you very much.
Well, my name is Justin Burns. You can find me Facebook, Twitter, all that. Justin Lynn, L-Y-N-N Burns is probably the best way to find me. I am putting a website together, so that's something that I've been trying to do. But I guess we'll talk about the piece. So we have a family farm out in Copperell, Texas, and over the years, as I've been getting older and starting my own family and everything like that, I've been kind of looking a little more into family history, and come to find out that our family farm has been 100 years old in our family. And so I've been kind of drilling my grandfather on stories and some stuff like that. So it's really drawn me a lot to this small town called Copperell, Texas. And it's about 30 minutes outside of Cleburne near Lake Whitney. And so I've been going around documenting parts of this town, houses, homes, things I find, things that I find in our family farm, patterns, a lot of different things. And so this piece is actually a home that has collapsed, and it's right off of Highway 174 and 1191. And it's kind of to me, it's kind of an icon right when you turn into the farm road that goes down to our farm. And the past about 2 years, I've been going back to this house and documenting, taking photos. So this is the first one of many to come of this house that I've been slowly watching, kind of starting to fade away, collapse, and eventually probably be leveled out through the ground. And I don't know if they'll bulldoze it down and take it away. I don't know. But in the meantime, I've been documenting what I could find there. And so I'll probably be doing a series of this house. I'm also doing a lot of other work based from our farm, things that remind me of my grandmother or my great-grandmother, things like that. And so it's really kind of made me kind of really dig deep on the history of this town. And back about in the 50s or so, this town was very, very vibrant. There's a train station there, a train stop over the depot, and what happened is around the 50s, they moved the train tracks away from this town, and so it wasn't as happening, at this town, Copperell, Texas. So there's just a lot of stuff left there. There's old cotton gin. There's a famous story there about a guy named Steve Hughes who got his arm cut off from this cotton gin. Which I'm doing a couple pieces about that too. And again, it's just a famous story of this town. So I'm interested to see myself of what I'm going to come up with in the many years as I kind of keep documenting, things happening in this small town. People that I meet as I'm out there this summer aren't going to be out there a lot. I'm a teacher, so it's nice to have the summers off. So that's what I'm going to start doing during that time. So that's about it. I guess I shouldn't give away too many of my secrets, but we'll see how my Copperell, Texas series ends up being. So, thank you.
My name is Antonio Lechuga. My website info is letuslook.com. This piece here, or these pieces, personally they deal with kind of a complication of simplicity. For me, I try to strive for depth in very simple forms. colors that, for me, produce themselves differently each and every time. This piece itself is was a work in progress. It always has been. For me, it's just more about kind of taking things out of their ordinary, taking things out of what you see and what you feel each and every day, and putting them in a certain composition to where you wouldn't normally recognize them. The other that you can't see right now is essentially the same, just in a different format. It's about kind of pulling those things out, those simple things out of the ordinary, and really complicating that simplicity. That's my goal. Creating those depths and those lights that you don't normally see. That's what I do every day.
Okay, well, I'm Fernando Sebastian, and I'm showing this piece here. It's called Eyes That Don't See, Heart That Doesn't Feel. And it's pretty much about, feelings, about sometimes you don't really feel what you can see. So it's more about love and relationships and heartbreaking experiences. Something like that. Well, my website is armandosebastian.com, and I guess that's it.
This is William, hopefully your favorite videographer from Two Hats Publishing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please leave comments below, or like, follow, or subscribe to us and get notices of all our videos. We love it, even when you call.